Hey everyone, Jones here, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about my female name. How it is that I got from Joshua to Joanna. Or from Josh to Jones. Now on the surface, it may just look like a straight up feminization of my male name. Joshua Alexander becomes Joanna Alexa, but it's not. It's not, trust me. If that were the case, this video would be very, very short. I don't know, I love talking to other passable dressers or other trans women and asking how did you find your name? Because I find that so interesting. So this is the story of my name, how I became Joanna, and eventually Jones. So for the first couple of years of my cross-dressing life, I didn't go by a name. I was just Josh, dressed up. Josh in girl mode was what I call myself. And there was this old cross-dressing forum that I used to peruse, and I used to post pictures of myself on it, and I used to always get a really good response. And all the people there, they all went by female names. They all all the guys there had female names that they went by. And I thought that was really cool. Seeing that kind of made me want to call myself something too. I wasn't really sure what kind of name I wanted, so I started just calling myself all of these kind of pretty names there's just all these different names that I thought were really pretty, like Aaron, Anna, Catherine, Rachel, just all these names that I could think of, and none of them felt right. So what I would do is I would always kind of look at myself in the mirror, and I would kind of introduce myself to my reflection. So I would say, "Hi, my name's Catherine," or "Hi, my name's Aaron." But none of these names really felt right. They just didn't stick. They didn't really mesh well. Didn't jive with me. But finding a name wasn't really a huge priority for me. So I was kind of content with just kind of calling myself a myriad of different names at the time. Things didn't really stick well. They didn't feel right with me. I couldn't look at myself in the reflection and honestly believe myself when I called myself these names, or when I introduced myself by these names. And whatever. I still enjoyed my dressing for what it was, even if I didn't have a name quite yet. So eventually down the road, when we tried to form ourselves a new name, we decided to just take a straight up anagram of our name, rearrange all the letters, and make just a new name, just from what I had. So my full name is Joshua Alexander Moss, and I have 5 A's, 3 S's, a J, an X. I had weird letters. I had a weird combination of letters, but I did my best, and rearranging them, I was able to forge a new name for myself. So, taking an anagram of all the letters of my male name, Joshua Alexander Moss, I was able to form this new name, Sarah Alexa Joan DeMuses. DeMuses was just all the leftover letters. But Sarah Alexa Joan, they were 3 first names. And I cycled through all of them. 1 month I went by Sarah, 1 month I went by Alexa, 1 month I went by Joan. And I don't know, these names felt a little better, because these weren't names that I just, plucked out of nowhere. These were names that I created. These were names that I made from the letters of my male name. We went from this to this. And I don't know, these names, they felt better, but they still didn't quite feel right. So I cycled through all of them. So 1 month I went by Sarah, 1 month I went by Alexa, 1 month I went by Joan. Sarah wasn't bad. It definitely felt different. Alexa was okay. Alexa was a name I was more okay with, back then, 5 years ago, before Amazon Alexa became a thing and the name Alexa became everywhere. At the time I thought it was cool. Now, not so much. Joan I thought I would like a lot, like Joan of Arc, but I don't know, Joan still didn't really mesh with me all that well. But, these are the names that I made, so I cycled through all of them. I went through all these names, called myself these constantly, and I don't know, they felt okay, but again, looking at myself in the mirror and introducing myself by these names, it just didn't quite feel right. And for a brief while, I was actually a little bit bummed out, just because, okay, these names that I made out of an anagram of my male name, they don't really work. All these really pretty names that I tried going by, these names that I really liked, they also didn't really work. But we carried on. And so one day, I'm just kind of, browsing Wikipedia, reading all the articles, because that's what I do. That's one of my honest-to-God hobbies. And I came across an article of a woman named Joanna. And I don't know, I looked at that name, just kind of rolled it around in my head a little while. Joanna, Joanna, Joanna. And I don't know, like, I originally didn't really want a J name, honestly. But, because, I honestly couldn't really think of any female J names at the time that I thought sounded good. But I was looking at Joanna, and I don't know, it felt kind of... I kind of jived with it. So, I did my old tried and true test. I went to the mirror, looked at my reflection, and introduced myself. Hi, my name's Joanna. And, like, that was the first time that I actually believed my reflection. I believed myself saying that. So, Joanna ended up becoming what I started calling myself. Now, being a creature of habit, Joanna was nice and all, but I did kind of want a middle name. Because originally I had Joshua Alexander, first and middle name. And now I'm just Joanna. Well, it sounds a little plain. So I decided to take the Alexa version, the Alexa name that I created. Well, created. Alexa is just the first 5 letters of Alexander, but, whatever. So we decided to take this and make this our middle name. Joshua Alexander became Joanna Alexa. Yes, it does very much sound like a straight-up feminization of my male name. Joshua Alexander, Joanna Alexa. But it's not. Joanna I just stumbled upon and really liked. Alexa was a name that I made, just from anagramming my letters. And yeah, so Joanna Alexa is not... It's not really a feminization of a male name. Well, it is, but it's not how I got to that name. And I really liked it. I really liked Joanna Alexa. Joanna Alexa Moss. I liked it. I liked calling myself that. And that's what I've been calling myself for the past, couple of years. And I've loved it. I really like that name. Except for one tiny little thing. So, I love Joanna a lot. But there is one little thing that I really wish it had. So, my name is Joshua, but I don't go by Josh. I don't go by Joshua, I go by Josh. And I really wish that Joanna had a nice, short, single-syllable version of the name. Like Josh for Joshua. And I tried. I tried, coming up with some sort of, shortened version of Joanna. None of them stuck. Joe is the name of my alcoholic, xenophobic grandmother. No. Joan, I tried Joan again, like Joan of Arc. I thought I would like it, but I don't know, I just didn't. Nobody why. I tried Anne, I tried Anna, I tried Joanne. Every shortened version of Joanna I just didn't like. Like, none of these names really stuck. And, I don't know, I got kind of bummed out again, because, well, I'm trying to make a name for myself, but I can't. I don't like any of the names that I'm making. So, whatever. But, I decided to just kind of carry on calling myself Joanna. It's cool, I like Joanna, I'm good with that. 2 years ago, I was talking to a friend, and in the conversation, she mentioned the name Jones, and I didn't really think much of it at the time. But somewhere down the road, when I was thinking about coming up with a nice little single-syllable nickname for myself, the name Jones popped in my head. Probably because of that conversation I had with my friend earlier. And I just thought about it. Jones. 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 And, I did my little test. I went to the mirror, looked at my reflection. I introduced myself formally. Hello, my name is Joanna. And then introduced myself a bit more casually. Like, sup, my name's Jones. I probably did introduce myself that dorky. But I liked it. It sounded cool. Just seeing my reflection, calling myself Jones. It sounded so, I don't know, just so unique, so badass, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Jones is actually a very recent name. Like, only for the past, year and a half. I have been introducing myself. Because the past 2 years are when I've been really introducing my female self to people, telling people about it. And so every time I do, come out to people about this, naturally the question, oh, what do you call yourself? Well, you're female. I always tell them, well, my female name is Joanna, but I go by Jones for short. Hey, channel name. So that's where we found Jones. Just kind of, again, stumbled on by accident. My name is all sorts of accidents. Honestly, that's what it is. My name is just a bunch of accidents all put together. But I like it. I like it a lot. We're not quite done yet. There's still a little bit of space left. So, again, I liked Alexa at the time. I thought it was cool. Again, creature of habit. I like having a middle name. I liked Alexander as my original middle name, so Alexa as my middle name. It's still kind of a similar sort of name. So I did like it, and I tried keeping it, but I don't know. I'm the kind of person that likes things to be a little different, a little unique. And having Amazon's Alexa, the name Alexa is everywhere now. You hear it all the time, and it's like, well, I mean, this isn't all that unique anymore. Like, Jones is unique. Jones is a really unique nickname. But Alexa, that name's everywhere. I mean, it's a middle name. I'm probably not gonna say my middle name all that much, but still, I wish it was a little different. But I I don't know. Very recently, like within the past month or so, I decided to give myself a second middle name. So, again, browsing Wikipedia, because that's all I do. I've researched and looked up, like, all of these, famous female warriors in history. And, this particular day, I decided to read up on Joan of Arc again. And reading about her this time, I noticed a number of kind of similarities between her and I. She was, yes, Joan of Arc was a cross-dressing warrior who heard voices in her head. It sounds like me. That sounds a lot like me. And, I don't know, reading that, this was just like a month ago, and just reading that, I kind of thought, okay, yeah, I mean, I've tried Joan so many times. I mean, Joan itself hasn't stuck, but we went by Joanna, and Joanna's kind of a variation on Joan, right? So, the French spelling of Joan of Arc is spelled like this. Jean d'Arc, I guess? I don't remember how to pronounce French. It's been a while. It's always spelled like this, like Jean D apostrophe Arc. And I kind of looked at this, the D apostrophe Arc bit. And what if we made this a middle name? Not Dark, D-A-R-C, but Dark, D-A-R-K. That way, hidden within my name is my namesake. Joanna Alexa Dark Moss. Joanna Dark, Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc. And that is her name. That is my hodgepodge accidental name that I made for myself. Joanna Alexa Dark Moss. But I just go by Jones for short. And, like I said, I find it really interesting to hear about how people found their names, how did you pick the name that you wanted to go by from now on? Dressers or trans folk. Just how did you find your name? I find that fascinating. Some people they just they pick a name that sounds pretty or is like really meaningful. Has a really specific like translation. Others have they've taken they've taken simply like a straight up feminization of their name, Andrew to Andrea or Michael to Michelle, things like that. And on the surface, Joshua Alexander, Joanna Alexa. It looks like a feminization of my name. It looks like that's exactly what I did, but I didn't. Joanna, I stumbled on. Alexa was my creature of habit self that wanted a middle name, so I took this name that I made, a name that I created, and turned it into a middle name. Dark was me wanting to kind of honor Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc as a namesake. And just kind of, celebrating how similar the two of us are. Maybe you don't see it, but I see it. And, well, that's just my last name, so. Joanna Alexa Dark Moss. That's my name. But you can just call me Jones for short. But yeah, I hope you found this interesting. But how I found my name. And, everyone finds their names, in a very unique way. Just how... It fascinates me. It just fascinates me to learn how people found their names. And if anyone asks me how I got to my name, well, I tell them this entire story. But yeah, that's it. I hope you found this interesting. Just kind of a, little factoid about myself, my name. I'm gonna cut it here. But yeah, Joanna Alexa Dark Moss. But feel free to keep calling me Jones. Anyways, yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for learning a little bit about me, learning about how I found my name, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.